Hello everybody and welcome to another video. So today we're going to be dipping into the world of video game influenced board games once more, as I am going to be having a quick look at this here, the Elden Ring board game Weeping Peninsular set. So this is quite an interesting one. This is by Steamforged Games, who also did, I believe it was the Resident Evil board game, as well as a couple of other ones out there. Now, when the pledges for this went up, they had a kind of core pledge, they had an entry-level pledge, and they had your standard all-in pledges. Your entry-level pledge got you this, the Weeping Peninsula set, which is kind of called a stand-alone expansion. So what it means is you can have this set, you don't need the core set, to play the game. So this is what I went for, as it was kind of the cheapest one at the time and what I could afford. I couldn't afford at the time to go for the all-in one because this was quite a pricey one this go around. It was about it's like £75 to £100 for this particular one, whereas I think the core one was going for about £100 to £150 at the time. I can't quite remember the numbers, but I thought we'd have a quick look at what this particular one offers, as it's sort of the more affordable of the batch. So, as said, they released, I think it was Realm of the Grafted King is the core set with a hell of a lot more going for it. But the Weeping Peninsula set offers about a 20 to 40 hour campaign within it. So let's delve in. As mentioned, this is a standalone expansion, so it's got everything you need here to play. You don't need anything else. So we'll have a look, and it comes with your usual kind of batch of figures, booklets, the whole lot. Now, just before we go into it, Elden Ring, I don't think I need to go too much into the whole Soulsborne thing. Elden Ring is, at the time of recording this, the latest in From Software's, like, Soulsborne, not really franchise, but genre, style of game, I guess you'd say. It took the series in a new direction as it went open world. It was immensely popular when it came out. It's a really, really bloody good game. It's one of those ones that's a little bit divisive because, as with a lot of FromSoft stuff, they tend to be quite high on the difficulty level. They require a lot of dedication from players in order to get to the end point, but they're always quite satisfying to play, in my personal opinion. So, having had the Bloodborne board game and really enjoying it, I was quite looking forward to this. I never played the Dark Souls board game. So, the first thing as we open this up, is just some kind of counters and stuff to pop in the health wheels and stuff in there. Now, as we alluded to, I absolutely loved Elden Ring. I platinumed it. It did have its moments of major difficulty for me. I don't consider myself to be an amazing Soulsborne player. I do kind of like to go for the cheese methods with some bosses, but that's sort of part of these games, is figuring out how to do it, and even then you still have to learn the movesets and such like. So we get our cards here. So just kind of like telling us who the characters are, showing positions for where to put your cards and stuff. And you get 4 of these, as it is a 1 to 4 player game. Next up, we get the rulebook. Really, really big rulebook, and it feels really, really nice quality. A very solid binding there. So this essentially takes you through how to set up the game. It takes you through, all the various rules, like how to do combat, how to do the campaign, things like the round table hold, what happens if you fail a campaign. It has alternate game modes in there, like solo mode and standalone mode, and tells you the order of the cards, which I presume is important when you start doing the campaigns. And yeah, it's got everything you need in here. Like I said, really, really nice quality. I do find that with these board games, you might be put off by the initial cost of them, but they are very, very good quality. So next up, we get a scenario book. Again, quite nice. Not quite as thick as the rule book as you'd expect, but this is basically taking you through scenarios, saying what to do at certain points. It tells you, if you do a certain thing here, it says If you do this, read narrative entry number 5. If you do this, read narrative entry number 10. Kind of like a bit of a choose your own adventure sort of idea going on there. Like I said, I haven't delved into this yet, unfortunately. This is purely an unboxing. This is the first time I've seen a lot of this. So I will be wanting to play the game. Now, next up, we get these encounter books. Now, this is something I really like. There probably is board games that have included this, but I absolutely really love this. You get 4 encounter books, and they're all ring bound, which I presume is to make it easier to flip to certain ones and keep it open should you need to. So yeah, so we got then lettered A to D, and A is like, we got it here, it's your first steps, so it tells you what combat encounters you've got on this side. So I don't know if you can see that well. Misbegotten and Rotten Strays, and it says what the rewards are in initiative cards, and tells you where they go on this chart. So yeah, and you've got different ones for different things there. So you've got the Church of Pilgrimage here. So it's like you got a chart here where you position things, and on this side is the encounters. So I think that's really, really cool. And like I said, I really like that these are ring bound. Again, I suppose it's just to make it easier to lay them out and flip between should you need to. Next up, and we'll save these for last, you got your little figures. You got this, which always kind of comes with all of these. But on the back, it's got your campaign structure there, so you can see how it's all meant to plug into one another. So you've got the board game, the Weeping Peninsula, which leads into Realm of the Grafted King, which can lead to Stormvale Castle. And then you've got 3 more expansions at the bottom, which you need Realm of the Grafted King for, I believe, which is Flying Dragon Agiel, the Erd Tree Avatar, and Limgrave Depths. So just a little bit of supplemental info there. So the one thing this game doesn't come with is tiles for your map, which I actually kind of like that, because sometimes finding a space for all the tiles is a pain in the backside. But you do get loads of lovely things to pop out. So you get your little counters and such there. You get a sheet full of tokens here, and another sheet full of tokens there. Now, I'm going to give the same warning here that I did for my Metal Gear Solid board game, something that I think is well worth. It is one of the most satisfying things to pop things out with these boards, but be very, very careful when you do, because sometimes when you pop them out, they might get caught coming out, so you might risk damaging it. So take it slow and easy with that. It's always a little bit frustrating when you pay so much for a board game, only for it to break due to something fairly innocuous. So next up, what we have here... Oh, okay. So these look like the sort of tiles. These look like the tiles you use, like a hex tile. So I wonder if what it is those booklets are for when you encounter an enemy and to play out the battle. And these tiles are kind of for moving in between. Now, I should have opened this before I actually did the video. Never mind. It is what it is. This is awkward, isn't it? There we go. We got it open, but we'll get these tiles out. Oh my god, there's a lot of them. So they kind of look like that, but this, I presume, is just building up your map. So I kind of replicate that experience of Elden Ring. These 3 seem kind of very similar. But yeah, we've got some different ones there as well. But yeah, those are really, really lovely, and I will refrain from getting any further of them out. And you get plenty of cards there. So again, I haven't opened these yet, and I won't do so on camera because it'll take ages, but you've got like these Guidance of Graces. And you get a lot of decks of cards here. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we get combat cards. You get another set of combat cards there. some more. You can see there's a hell of a lot going on here. More. So yeah, this is where it looks like the combat cards are here, but on the other side it's a card for a quest. So it looks like that's changed up a bit. Yeah, there we go. So a class quest there. And on the other side is like what I presume is a spell card. Attributes. And on this side is what looks to be like a narrative card. More combat on here. And I'm not sure what that is. On that side. Looks like a sort of narrative cards here again. And finally, looks like items, and on this side, enemy tactics there. So quite a list of things going on there. And finally, you get two smaller decks of cards, which look to be kind of items. So it's got rune on there. I don't know if you can see that very well. And on the back, it is a sliver of meat. Lovely. And on this side, it says Murmurings of the Crone. And on this side, it just says Beast. So that's what we have there. So let's have a quick look at the figures and the models you get here. These are always really nicely 3D modelled and such. So we'll start with what I presume are enemies you see out and about. So yeah, a lot of dog enemy going on there. And you get 4 of them. Next up are just kind of like standard grunt enemies, but just sort of standard enemies you fight out and about, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in the pack. You get 2 of these absolute lizardy lads. I do seem to remember fighting these in the game, and they weren't always the most pleasant things. You get 3. Now, this is one thing I'm not keen on. Some of these are packaged in a little bit awkward. They don't fit in the placements quite so well. But you get these. I remember these. Ranged enemies in these games are always a pain in the backside. But you get them. You get your 4 player characters. So you get man with a stick. You get the focus. Man with dagger. And man with big axe. And finally, I suppose the boss character. You get this absolute lad right here. Just really loved him on. So yeah, it's not the biggest set I've ever unboxed from a board game, but this is like sort of the entry-level one for the Elden Ring board game, and I thought it'd be worth just having a cheeky look at it, showing off the figures, showing off, you know, what it looks like in there, just in case you're interested. As with a lot of these, it's really well modelled. The one thing I'd say is you seem to get a lot of cards, a lot of booklets with it, so I'm wondering, you know, how is it to play, how is it to set up. Hopefully I will get a chance to play it sometime soon, and what I'll probably do is report on my social media or something, or maybe try and make a video showing a one-off, like a one-player demonstration of like half an hour of it or so. But yeah, with that said, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this. For any future retro gaming content, do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know if this is a board game you've picked up or what your favourite video game-based board games are. And I shall see you again in another video. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.